Okay, today at Bias Sports, welcome. Today we have one of my favorite subjects, and that is Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter, to me, is the most overrated college football player of all time. Why do I say this? One, because he hasn't accomplished anything. All I hear is, Travis Hunter's so great. Oh my gosh, he's done this. He plays both ways. He's going to be the best player ever. He's the next Dion. He's the next best great thing. But in reality, he had two subpar years at Jackson State that nobody remembers and nobody really saw him do anything. And then last year, I will give him this. He had a good year at receiver. He's a good receiver. But he got hurt, and he also got scored on multiple times at cornerback. He's not a good corner. He gave up touchdowns at Jackson State at corner. He gave up touchdowns last year at Colorado at corner. This is not, to me, a first-round cornerback. I could possibly see him being a first-round receiver, but he hasn't even had a 1,000-yard season yet. He hasn't had anything that shows me that he's this amazing college football player that they speak of. How is he above greats like Reggie Bush, Vince Young, Peter Warrick, all these, Tim Tebow? They talk about this guy, Barry Sanders. They talk about this guy, Travis Hunter, with Dion and all those guys I just mentioned. He's not anywhere near that. He hasn't put up the stats, and he got hurt last year, and he's tiny. His frame is tiny. He's definitely the most overrated player in college football history. And I just don't see what the media sees in him. If he goes to the NFL, he's tiny. He's going to get thrown around. This year in the Big 12, I believe he'll have more problems than last year because guys have his tape now. He finally put out some tape. He finally wasn't injured. He finally played a few games. And now guys can see how to attack him better at receiver, which I think he'll have a good year. I don't think he'll get to 1,000 yards because I think he'll be hurt again. They have him as the cover athlete on College the Football Game and all that. How? Dylan Edwards, he's a national champion. Quinn Ewers, he's put up amazing stats and he's got far in the college football playoffs. We're talking about a guy who's won 4 games at Colorado. And against Stanford, when they had a big lead, he was the main reason they lost. The receiver caught all those touchdowns over him. It looked like a kid was guarding the receiver. And this is the best college football player ever, supposedly, or the best next thing. He plays both ways. I just don't see it. I just don't see it. And I know people are going to come at me, oh, you're a hater. You hate Colorado. No, it's not that. I was rooting for them at first, and I was rooting for Travis Hunter. But the way that they do things is they're worried more about clicks than about the field. And so I'm always seeing Travis Hunter doing interviews, seeing him do his podcast, seeing him do his YouTube. I want to see more on the field. I want to see 1,500 yards. I want to see 1,000 yards receiving. I want to see 5 interceptions. I want to see you gain some weight. I want to see you get some muscle. Or win a national championship. Get that Colorado team into the college football playoffs. If he's that level of guy, he can get them at least close to the college football playoffs. He could actually win the Big 12. It's not the craziest hard conference. Utah, yeah, that'd be a tough one. But it's not the craziest hard conference in the world. So if you're a great, like they say you are, Travis Hunter, and then you have a first-round quarterback next to you in Shador, then you can get them to the college football playoffs. Will you do it? I don't think so. I think they'll win three games this year and lose 9 games. But if he does, have over 1,000 yards on offense, has 6 interceptions, has a standout lockdown defense year, and leads them to win the Big 12 and make the college football playoffs by winning the Big 12, then yeah, you're a great. You're up there with the big names: Tim Tebow, Michael Vick, Vince Young, Reggie Bush, Joe Burrow. You're up there, Baker Mayfield. You're up there with those guys. But Lamar Jackson. But until we see that, you're nowhere close. You're nowhere close. You're nowhere close to any of those guys. So I'm going to need to see you prove that you're up there. And stop hearing all this media talk about, oh, he's so good, he's so good. And then you look at his stats, and yeah, he has decent receiver stats, but he couldn't stay healthy. And as a corner, if you watch his film, he's not a good corner. So I'm confused. He doesn't return punts or kicks. What does this guy do that makes him a great? Okay, he's a good receiver. There's a lot of good receivers that aren't greats. There's a bunch of good receivers this year. Why? Marvin Harrison Jr., amazing, legendary receiver in college. He didn't get all this hype. He didn't get all that. There's plenty of receivers better than him this year that are not going to get all this hype. Plenty of guys that went first round last year didn't get all this hype. So we're going to see what Travis Hunter can do this year. If he can prove me wrong and lead his team to the college football playoffs, then I'll say, you're great. You're one of the greatest in college football. But until then, I think that he's the most overrated college football player of all time, most overrated guy I've ever seen in my lifetime. This is Bias Sports. I'm out.